Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of We Listen and We Judge. Hi,
Welcome back.
Mom.
Hi, Brandy.
How are you? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing good. It's kind of warmer today, so I was happy about that when I went out to get groceries.
Yeah.
As you see on my shirt, I am representing Spelman. Disclaimer, I did not go to Spelman University, but Spelman College, sorry, correction. But we will be talking about PWI versus HBCU today on the podcast. And for those who are not aware, PWI stands for Predominantly White Institution. HBCU is Historically Black College and University. So this is a topic that Mom brought up, so I'll let her explain a little bit why she wanted to discuss this.
I brought up the differences a discussion between the differences between the institutions because I've always wanted to experience the historically Black college or university. I did not attend one either. And at the time when I was getting ready to go to college, the Hope Grant had just come into play. And it had so many rules back then. I think they've been much more flexible now than they were in the past. But then there was only so many certain types of universities within the university system of Georgia you could attend. It would only take care of so many hours, so much in books. And private universities, you basically end up paying way more out of pocket fees than you would if you went to a public university at the time. And so it kind of made the choice real difficult to choose an HBC. And then when I was a senior in high school, which now dual enrollment is really prevalent in the state of Georgia across school districts. But when I was a senior in high school, the opportunity had just began and it was called PSO, which was post-secondary option. And it gave us an opportunity to go to college while we were in high school, not on the same scale as students are able to do now, because now you can actually come out of high school as a sophomore in college with the number of hours that you're able to take. The hours that we were able to take were somewhat limited, and then fees was on the parents or student to pay their fees, which now it's all taken care of for our dual enrollment students. And so dual enrollment has grown tremendously since I was in high school. And I've already told y'all I'm about to be 50 in January, so I'm completely dating myself, but it's okay. I went to Georgia Southern University when I was in high school, and I had about 9 hours, I think, when I finished, maybe 12, but it was nowhere near what students can do now. And I wanted to make sure that my hours were going to be accepted. And so back then, it was very hard to get your hope, make sure your hours transfer, and then go to a university of your choice. So you had to be real careful about where you went if you wanted your hours to be accepted, if you wanted your Hope Grant to pay. And so I did look at some historically Black colleges that I would have wanted to go to, but a lot of them were out of state. And of course, the minute you leave the state, so goes your hope. And at the time, I didn't know a whole lot about grants and the president scholarship that you would get to attend the university, which would take a lot of pressure off of the family to have to come up with the money. And when I was going to college, my parents was like, you need to keep this Hope Grant because we don't have the money for college. And so I totally made my decisions based on keeping hope alive. And we would use that term throughout our college experience. But I really wanted to look into universities like FAMU. I was interested in that. Of course, that's out of state. Hampton, Howard. There were several that I would have loved to experience. And so I wanted to talk about this because I noticed that there's a resurgence in young people watching a different world. And I can remember when we were in high school, the Cosby Show, Different World, that was a good Thursday night combo. And we were so excited to watch the young Black people go off to Hillman College, which was a fictitious HBCU back then. And it looked like just a vibe. It looked like it was them making sure they have academic excellence, but also having fun. And when I looked at the difference between HBCUs and PWIs, pros and cons for this episode, one of the things that was listed was most HBCUs pride themselves in academic excellence. And you could tell with Hillman, even though that was a fictitious university on TV, you could tell with Hillman that all of them were going to succeed and do well because
Right.
excellence was I mean, you have to be here. Like there's no
Right,
room for failure. And
right.
so I just wanted to get your perspective on it as a young person. Well, you've been out of college for quite a few years now too, but
It'll be 8 years
8 years is
in 2026. Go Owls,
which is
or
less than
however
I've
that.
been out of college. It's been a while since I've been in school. Even when I went back and got higher degrees, it's still been a while since I've been in
Yeah,
school. I think I was done with all of my higher degrees even before you went to college. So it's been a long time since I've been in school.
yeah.
But I want to hear your perspective because you did have a choice and we were trying to figure out how to help you with that choice, but you did have one and you made your own choice based on, and then I would like for you to kind of
Keeping
talk
hope
about that.
alive.
But I wanted to just kind of broach the topic just to see if
Yeah.
our listening audience had any thoughts about it as well.
Okay, we have not we talked a lot of what you said, but not all of it. Like I knew you went to Georgia Southern before you graduated from high school. I knew you did dual enrollment because you actually were the reason I did dual enrollment. And this is shade. If it was not for my mom, I would not have been able to do dual enrollment because my guidance counselor pretty much sucked. So sorry, but it was just the truth. Like, if it wasn't for my mom, I would not be able to do that. And see, our stories are a little bit similar. I know I had 6 credits, but I would have had more had they actually also bought the test for me to take the AP World History class that I took. And it's just, we're gonna let things slide now. I got where I was and whatever, but sometimes like also not being in a good high school and not having good guidance can really hold a lot of people back. I think about that, like if I did not have parents in education, I didn't have grandparents in education, like where would I be? Because these smaller schools, when it comes to Black kids, they're not helpful. And that's one thing I hope to do when I get like the amount of money that would make me more, where I don't have to worry about my bills and I could actually do more for the community. I hope to get to the point where I could start, helping and mentoring and also putting more money towards people's post education, especially those of color, because we really are behind in that aspect because we don't have those tools. So that's a little tangent I want to go on, but just
I
to
would
explain.
like to say, though, I want to tell the listening audience, you didn't attend high school in the school district in which I am an administrator.
Right, correct. They did banish me to a certain school and I
We'll
didn't
talk
want
about
to
all that on
go.
another show.
I did I didn't want to go, so that would be a whole nother show. We talk about that too, but let's talk about. I did want to go to a HBCU. I actually got into Spelman. I was accepted into the college. I went to the weekend thing where they had people, come check it out for a weekend. I think Grandma and Auntie Shanna went with me, and we explored Spelman. What deterred me from going there was a couple of things, and most of it was because they did not take the credits that I have from Georgia Southern to Spelman. And even though it was only 6, like that was 6 that I worked really hard for. Like I was 17 in class with these kids still in high school, trying to make myself appear more mature than I really are, so nobody knows I'm a high school student, and just limit the amount of questions I answer when it comes to background. So I took psychology 101 and I think I took English 1102. Now, why did I take English 1102 when I had not taken English 1101? Again, that has to do with the high school I went to. But like I said, neither here nor there. So when I actually got to Kennesaw State, I had to go back and take English 1101 and already had a credit for English 1102. So that was another thing that happened. But I was very like gung ho. Yes, I'm going to go to Spelman and I'm going to make these connections. Everything I knew about Spelman was excellence. Like all the Black women that go there, they do very well for themselves. Their careers are amazing. They have a lot of connections. I was just excited to be in that number. My cousin and I, we had always talked about going to college in Atlanta, and I think the first one we wanted to go to was Clark. But then when we were younger, Clark lost their accreditation, so I'm like, okay, we can't go there. We have to find something else. And that's when I looked into Spelman. Like, this is an amazing school. Like, I would love to be there. And it's connected to Howard. I mean, my bad, Morehouse. And, it just had a lot of options. You could go take classes at Morehouse and at Spelman, just depending on what was offered. It seemed beautiful. But I think Like I said, the biggest deter for me was not taking my credits, as well as it was very expensive too. And I was a little bit on a slacker kind of wave because I'm just like, okay, I know I got hope. That should take care of it. Looking back, I wish I did do more scholarships. I didn't think about it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to college, and as long as it's not super expensive, I'll be okay. But if I could go back and do it over again, I would have probably went ahead and went to Spelman. I think the last thing that deterred me was like the setup of the dorms. Your freshman year, you have to go to those dorms that are with community bathrooms, and I just was like, I can't do this. So, and that's a very immature reason, honestly, when it comes to, you know, picking your college. But at the same time, I just wanted to be very comfortable. So I ended up at Kennesaw State. And how I ended up at Kennesaw State is I was in math class and Mr. Eman, he was a graduate from Kennesaw State. And he was talking to me and he was like, you should look into there. I think the school would be really good for you. I was like, okay, let me see. Cause I told him I wanted to be near the Atlanta area. So I applied and we went to, the Ignite. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be good. Kennesaw is a very good school. It is really boomed over the years. Started off as a commuter college and now it's a whole full university. About 35,000 to 38,000 students go there. It is a PWI, but it's also very diverse. They have a Black student union. I was very involved in that. I was involved in NCNW with National College Negro Women, organization. And I thought that was awesome too. I met a lot of cool people at Kennesaw State. I met one of my good friends at Kennesaw State, Shay. Shout out to her. She watches the pod too. We were both working at TJ Maxx. College kids just trying to have some extra money so we can go out and take care of different things. And we've been friends since, but it's a lot of people I still talk to from Kennesaw State. I had an amazing study abroad through Kennesaw State. They had an awesome program where we actually took the classes throughout the semester. Then for 2 weeks, we went out there. So really, it was like a 2 weeks vacation. And then we did excursions to Croke Park and Guinness. We also went to the Edinburgh Chamber of Commerce. And in London, we got to choose where we wanted to do. So I went to a lot of the museums. I went to a fashion museum, Victoria and Albert. That was amazing. And I also went to the National Gallery of Art in London. So I think Kennesaw State was a very amazing experience for me. I appreciated my experience in college. There was some good, there was some bad, there was some ugly. But I will say, looking back, I do kind of wish I would have went ahead and went to a HBCU.
Yeah. My parents both were graduates of Savannah State University, and then my dad actually went on to Tuskegee to get his higher degree. And it seems like there was a strong sense of community pride.
Right.
So I was drawn to that thought and wanted that opportunity. But then the resources, of course,
Mhm.
making sure, like I said before, making sure I had access to all of my hope, making
Mhm.
sure that the classes that I had taken in high school would count for something. Because you're right, you don't want to sit in those classes and do your best and then they don't even count toward your degree. And so that kind of held me back, but I do wish that I would have had that experience. I've always admired, and just from the people that I know that have gone to those universities, I've always admired the sense of community camaraderie,
Right.
excellence that
Right.
they display, and the others that they've graduated with, and the conversations that they all have about their experiences.
Yeah. As a Black woman going through, college as well as in my career, I remember my first job outside of college was with AT&T, and it was a business to business program where they people who just graduated and with little to no experience in the career world, and then they put them in the program. We become sales professionals and we sell internet, we sell different products that AT&T has. And a lot of the Black people that were in the program with myself went to an HBCU. They said they actually had a strong connection with AT&T to push some of these graduates through this program. I think out of the 8 Black people that were in the program at the same time as me, we were all in the same class, only 2 of us actually went to a PWI. The rest of them went to a HBCU, and they said that they got this connection through their HBCU. So I thought that was beautiful to see too how they network and make sure that not only do they have excellence within college, they have excellence without college. They check on them, they have advisors, and it's not even just people who are in the sororities and fraternities, but they network within any organization that they have. So it kind of made me, dang, did I make the wrong choice? Did I just go the wrong route? But I was still there. I was able to connect with these people. It just happened to be, a different path for me. So looking back, sometimes I do have that regret in meeting those people that have come from these famous and historically Black colleges and universities. Just the pride they have about their university is beautiful to see. I'm prideful for them too. Even though I did not go to one, I will never appreciate anybody down talking HBCUs or trying to downplay it or saying it's not a reflection of the real world. In reality, even when you're at a HBCU, it doesn't mean you don't interact with people who are not, Black. It means you interact with majority Black, but there are times where there are non-Black people at HBCUs. I think they also give them scholarships to kind of go there too. So it's not like they don't see anybody that is another color or another race at all. And in reality, Black people, we do need a safe space for ourselves sometimes. In education, I think it is important that we get to discuss those racial issues that happened in the past so we won't let it infiltrate our future. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't think it puts them back. If anything, they seem to be ahead of the curve when graduating from HBCU. That's just my perspective. I'm sure there is stats that show that HBCUs definitely push their students to the next level in their careers.
Mhm.
I would say even a lot of those actors that we love, like, those people that we look at in the media have been to a HBCU. A lot of them went to Howard for, you know, theater and acting when I look back into it. So I think they make sure they breed excellence, as you said.
Mhm. Yeah, I try not to live with a whole lot of regrets, but that is an experience that I wish I would have
Mm,
had. I couldn't wait to go to college after watching A Different World.
right,
And
right.
a lot of times we talk I think I was in 7th grade maybe when it came out, and we get back to middle school the next day, and we talk about the episodes and which one of those characters we were more like. At first, they gave me Jaleesa, and I couldn't figure out why, but the older I got, I see now. I mean, just
Okay,
compared to
yeah.
everything. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
like
can
it at
see
first. I was like, "Why I gotta be Jaleesa?" But anyway, but I see it now. I mean, you just you just look at those things and you say to yourself, I would like to try that. I would like that experience. And so
yeah, I
not
can see
having had a chance to do it, I just, wanted to talk about it and see if anybody out there in our audience, studio audience, went to an HBCU and have some perspective.
yeah, I can see you being Jaleesa or, like Kim too.
Yeah.
Kim was very goal oriented. She was kinda more so everybody's go-to person for advice, and she very much kept her stuff under wraps until she couldn't open up anymore, but I understand why they would say Jaleesa or Kim, and I liked Jaleesa. I thought Jaleesa was cool,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah,
but
I did too.
now that you're older, you see it, but back then, I mean, I'm sure everybody wanted to be the main character like Whitley
Everybody
or
wanted to be Whitley.
yeah, but nobody was probably similar to Whitley.
No, no, no. Well, we did have one that really was and probably still is, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
But just I feel like there are some HBCUs that's gotten kinda like a bad rap, and I
Right.
feel like people generalize what that
Mhm.
experience might be like for all of them based on that,
Right.
and I know there's some that are top-notch and full of excellence, and a lot of students don't have an opportunity to explore those. So,
I
And even
think
now in talking to the counselors, just making sure that there's a broad range of experiences for college visits so that our students can see what campus life might be like at an HBCU.
I think those that get a bad rep also just really need those resources. People only think of the Howards, the Morehouse, the Spelman, the FAMU, NCAT, Southern, but there's so many HBCUs that get underreported, underrepresented, and need those resources. I really appreciate what uh w- Mackenzie Bezos is doing, donating to HBCUs and putting her money towards those. And I do like that those people are getting those resources. And I don't want to put her on a pedestal or anything, but I do appreciate when somebody has the money and the tools to help and they use that money and tools to help, regardless of her skin color. Yes, she is a white woman, but she does see that HBCUs need representation and they need funds. And we get here and we sit here and we talk about them and we can say all the negatives, but how many of us are actually trying to donate, reach out, see how we can support? Even just marketing and not talking bad about them helps a lot too. You don't
Right.
necessarily have to spread that they have financial aid issues. Everybody has financial aid issues. And you have to look at the PWIs do have a leg up. They have been around for a very long time, most of them, majority of them. And they get a lot of money from sports, athletics too. They get a lot of donations from different people who are building a legacy, but that's all HBCUs also want to do as well, is build legacies for Black people to have something in the future when we need our own spaces. And that's just what's most important to me. Like, I know I probably sound like a hypocrite because I didn't go to one, but just understand my reasoning was not because I think they're less than. I actually view them as higher than. It's just I didn't think I had enough funds to make it 4 years, and they wouldn't take my credits.
I
That's a
would love to revisit this conversation with someone who has attended an HBCU and get their perspective
yes.
on life, other than my parents, because Savannah State was a long time ago for them, a real long time ago for them. So just somebody who's going through college now or about to go to college and about to make a decision.
Uh-huh.
My nephew, Evan, your cousin, is about to make a college decision. So
Right.
once he makes his decision, I would love to talk to him about, why'd you make the choice that you made? And first, of course, we can't wait to hear where he decides to go and then
Yeah.
why he's making that choice.
Uh-huh. Evan is looking at HBCUs. He's
He is,
very
and that's why
open
I want
about
to
it.
talk to him
Yeah.
when he makes the choice,
Yeah.
if he chooses a PWI, then what was the final decision there? And if he chooses an HBCU, then what was the decision there?
I will say one narrative I really don't like, and that's even from our community, is when somebody is like turning up or partying. They're like, my PWI looks like a HBCU. I don't really like that perspective because HBCUs are not just for homecoming and partying. They definitely do more than that. They go to school just like us. Again, they produce amazing careers for amazing people. They put them in the forefront, they network, they collaborate. So it's not just about the turn up and the homecoming. And you'll see so many people that go to PWIs always trying to go to a HBCU for homecoming. It's a little bit irritating to me because I think we gotta really be cognizant of the conversation we're having when it comes to HBCUs because there is an attack against the education of Black people. And not necessarily where I'm saying they don't want Black people to go to college, but they're taking away things like racial theory. They're trying to take that out of education in certain states. We have to be very intentional about the conversations we're having when it comes to HBCU and Black education.
Yeah, and there's so much Black history that hasn't even been tapped. There's things that I'm still learning now that I've never heard before.
Right.
And the last thing I was studying was the wealth with oil wells. I didn't realize that there were several um, Black men who had oil and were oil barons per se, and one by one they were steady burned out or um, killed and
Mhm.
their wealth was taken. So I'm looking at that now. I'm just getting into it, so I don't know enough about it to speak on it. Just the fact that I'm appalled and didn't even know that that was a part of
Mm.
American history. So I do feel like you're right. The conversation around African Americans and historical perspectives, I feel like that can't die because there's so many things that we don't know about Black excellence. And a lot of times we're told, pull yourself up by your bootstrap, do this, do this, do that. And there were so many like Black Wall Street who had
Mhm.
and were burned out and killed. And so I think our young people need to know about those things. So A, they know that yes, it absolutely can be done. And B, when you do it, be careful to protect your family, your assets, your resources, because those people were killed for being excellent.
Right. Exactly. 100%. So I do appreciate this conversation. I love a different world. I love different, shows about HBCUs, and if you can put it on record, I do regret not going. But we move on, we still live our life, and we support those that do and encourage those who can. So shout out
Yeah.
to them. Yeah.
Shout out to them. When you think about Dwayne Wayne being this big tech person with Kanishiwa
Yeah.
and Kim becoming a doctor and just
Yeah.
all the excellence even from that particular show, it just seems so doable. But now when you think about kids even now this day, all of you all even entering into your careers and doing well, you know it's achievable. And that's what I feel like our young people in our community need to see. They need to see that excellence and they need to know that it's achievable. And I'm not saying that that can't happen at a PWI, but I think that is the expectation for them at an HBCU.
Hmm. I would agree. So we're gonna go into our judging you for today. We actually have one. I was like, oh, okay, we're getting a little bit more questions. Y'all might need a little bit of advice. I'm just kidding. But this one came from a friend from Auntie Ressa was asking about how we got started with the podcast. I want to say one, I appreciate your question. I appreciate you watching. Okay, you can see we're not that big yet, so it feels really good that somebody's asking for our advice because we're still basically in the infant phase. We're trying to grow, we're trying to put ourselves out there, so every view is important to us right now. Even if we get a lot, every view will be important. So we
That's what I was
appreciate.
gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll
yeah.
always be important
But
to us.
right now it's even more like, oh wow, oh 50 people actually watch this. Okay, shout out to you. But so how we got started is I had a dream that one
I
day
had a dream.
I'll be sitting on my stoop and talking about all the opinions that I have. So I told mom that I wanted to start a podcast because I'm really trying to grow into the entertainment space. As you might have seen from the first episode, I talk about wanting to get back into writing and also speaking. Used to be really good at public speaking. Podcast is actually a lot harder. When I present at work, it's a lot easier, but a podcast is kind of like sometimes I lose my train of thought. What should I say? I don't want to offend anybody. Then I say I don't really care that much. So then some things might, but a lot of it came from the ideas that I really wanted to talk about, and just stop talking about everything on Twitter. That's really where I share too many thoughts. So I was like, you know what? Let's say things on a podcast. Then I looked up where can I stream and how do I make the video. At first, we were using the script. It didn't work out too well. It was kinda grainy. I didn't think the quality was good. Dad told us the quality was really bad. So, we
He
got
was
to
like, "Get
River.
that microwave out of the background too."
Yeah. It just gave all the critique. He became the executive for podcasts out of nowhere, but, whatever. And then we went to Riverside now. So that is a platform that we're using to record. They give you a studio. They allow you to, send a platform to other people. We have a microphone that we got off of Amazon. When we start to get a little bigger, we will invest in a better microphone too. And they also let you edit. We got a camera from Amazon. I thought Mom's She Cave that she's currently sitting in was a good background, but we also do the remote platform, which is really good for us because we don't live in the same city. But when we do film together, it's just a nice background. So I would encourage everybody to get something like that so that you're not distracting people. It needs to be as blank as possible. You don't want to have people walking behind. And then topics, we come up with topics ahead of time. Sometimes we film at least 2 to 3 a day. It just depends on if I'm there or if I'm remote. And another thing I would say is just make sure you're not afraid to speak about different topics. You can't be frigid. You can't really be scared to just put yourself out there either. If you're just doing it to do it, then that's okay. But if you're really trying to grow your platform, just be open and put yourself out there. So whoever did ask that, I hope that answers your question. And also another thing, we really appreciate every person that watches, but we would love to hear from you guys when it comes to different topics that we are speaking on. If you have a different opinion, we like to listen and learn from you because that's another thing. I'm not opposed to people disagreeing. I actually feel I learn more when people do disagree. Not saying just be contrary to be contrary. I got accused of that a lot as I'm younger, but be contrary if it is authentic. And if you like it, let us know too. Like sometimes I don't know if y'all feeling it or not because nobody's saying nothing. So it's not to beg, but we would really appreciate if you do like, subscribe, comment, and let us know. We have TikTok now too. We listen and we judge pod. On TikTok, we have
Instagram.
Instagram. We listen underscore we judge with 2 E's. And we have YouTube. We also have Spotify and Apple. If you do not want to see us, I'm not going to be offended. Just go click and listen there. I mean, I think we look cute most days, but if you don't want to see us, that's fine too. Just click play, and tell a friend to tell a friend. We're really trying to really grow this. I think we have some good content. We're not just rage baiting. We're not trying to just say anything to be famous either. If honestly, if only people listened and comment a little bit and never really wanted to interact with our personal pages, that's fine too. I'm not really trying to be a content creator as far well, I will say travel. I'm into travel content creation too. I was going to say I have an Instagram global in black. So, because I like to travel, but I'm not necessarily trying to share more of my personal life. I don't want to do get ready with me's. I don't want to be in a fake relationship to promote brands. But if a brand want to reach out to the pod, hey Delta, we do fly you if you want to collaborate, that's great. But as far as Brandy, the person actually having to do get ready with me is no, because most of the times in the morning I'm just, dang, I gotta go to work.
I get ready so fast that you
Yeah,
wouldn't even know what happened.
right. So I try my best not to be, hey guys, I'm gonna work remote today. And a lot of times I really need my 3 screens. Excel be kicking my butt, so I need the 3 screens. But some days I really just want to be I need to work from home. I'm rambling now. That is the answer to the question, Mom. Do you have anything to add?
Well,
One
I
more
am
thing too. One more thing. We have Linktree as well. And Linktree helps link every different social media and we copyrighted the name of the pod. That's the last 2 things that I advise.
I am frigid.
Yeah. This is really what is it? Getting you out of your comfort zone.
I'm
Yeah.
way out of my comfort zone, which I did
Mhm.
say that in the first
Yeah.
episode that this was not my comfort zone, but Brandy and I was talking on the phone and we got some differing opinions about almost everything. And
Mm.
so she was saying she wanted to do a podcast and would I be interested in taking our conversation to the pod? And I'm like, I'll try it. And then I even gave her the rights to fire me if I could never get right. Brandy said, I can talk in front of audiences when I'm talking about what I do for a living. When I'm talking about education and practices and evidence-based strategies, and I could talk to a crowd and be fine. But when I get in front of this camera, I'm almost robotic sometimes. trying to learn how to loosen up and just go with the flow and have a good time. It's really tough for me. I'm
Yeah.
think I'm doing okay. Y'all have to tell me, but I am
I think we're improving, definitely improving.
yeah,
And yeah, I think both of us are improving. I go back and watch and I'm listening to it and I say to myself, I should have not said like 4 times. So you will
yeah,
critique yourself a good bit when you're watching it. In the moment, you don't remember everything. And I will almost say it's okay not to because you want to be authentic. I don't think you will
right.
grow an audience if you're inauthentic. And sometimes, you sound like the weather woman today, but other times, okay, that's definitely what she would say if we were just talking amongst us. I think I'm the more Imma say this regardless, because also I do that at work too. I just know how to say it, but I'm just, "Okay, I gotta tell you about yourself, and you're gonna hear it professionally read."
Well, she
So
don't have to tell me I sound like the weather woman because I know I do. I self-critique myself. I said I'm terrible.
no, you're not
I called
terrible.
myself rigid.
If you're terrible, we would have been stopped. It would have been
Well
"This
well,
ain't it.
I'm
This ain't
struggling,
it.
and sometimes I look back at the
The rest
faces
is
I
on the
make. It's never usually in what I say. It's usually how I'm looking. Like, I'm like, "Okay, I'm looking like I'm about to pass out." So, yeah, I'm good at, critiquing myself. I can laugh at myself,
Mm.
which I do all the
Yeah,
time, but I am trying. I'm working on it.
yeah. Alright, so for listening to, I have 2 things, music I'm listening to right now is Summer Walker just put out her new album. It is the 3rd of the trilogy, Over It, Still Over It, and then Finally Over It. I like the album. It's getting hit over the head on social media because of the features. And I wanna say I don't feel the same way as social media, but it is what it is. The girl's gonna be mad, the girl's gonna be sad. And I'm listening to Summer Walker. 1-800 Heartbreak, I really love that song. I like Go Girl. A lot of people are saying it's bad, but I love the features. I will say I don't understand why she put Anderson .Paak on 1-800 Heartbreak. I feel that one would have been better for a more traditional rapper to be on, based on the beat, but it's still a really good song. And then Houseway, I really like that one a lot. I just don't understand the feature either because the girl sounds like a background singer. So I don't know. But I'm listening to that. Are you listening to anything?
Last week, All Eyes on Me. I'm in my Tupac zone right now, just
Okay.
reminiscing. I think I was a sophomore in college when Tupac was killed. So I was kinda in the Dear Mama is on that album, and, of course, the theme song, All Eyes on Me. And so I was just kinda, sometimes I'll go back in the day on y'all. So I'm in
Back in
my
the
All
day,
Eyes on
man,
Me
girl.
era. I did go back and listen to, the album, the EP that you said you were listening to, Leon Thomas.
Folks. Mhm.
But I can't even remember the one that I said I liked the most. I told
Lonely
you.
Wolf.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, I listen to things, but I don't internalize, and I don't remember, and I don't a lot of times, I don't even remember who sings things like but I know a lot of songs. I just don't ever remember who sings it, who they sing it with. I just found out that Drake and Gucci Man was on both together. I mean, I know the song,
Mhm.
but when until you said it last week with the cloning, why would they clone Gucci Man? I was like, "Oh, both was Drake and Gucci Man?" I mean, I knew it was Drake, but I just didn't know who the other person was.
Yeah.
And I like that song, but yeah, I
Mhm.
don't ever like try to figure enough out about it. So, but I'm so ingrained with the old school stuff now. So,
It's shout out to the person who answered. They said Gucci Man is in tune with the youth, and I said, "Oh, okay."
you talking about that's why it's a conspiracy theory that they clone Gucci Man because he's in tune with the youth?
Yes. Mhm.
I well, we do appreciate the comment.
Right. Thank you for answering that. I can't say yay or nay, but okay. Like sounds good to me.
Well, I don't do conspiracy theories anyway, but
Well,
I thought it
you know about that Beyonce one. I never heard of that. I was like, oh,
I heard it on it was on TikTok. It was going
damn.
around.
but I never heard that one. I was like,
Well, it was
wow,
going
okay.
around on TikTok for a long
See,
time. I don't know how
on
you missed
TikTok,
it.
I just be watching like housewives, travel,
It kept coming up
food,
on my For You page with
and
all the
new
people
TV
arguing
shows.
about that.
That's probably because of Daddy. He always into conspiracy theories on TikTok. So
I don't know. It
his
was my
feed is
TikTok. I'm
probably,
not sure why I kept getting it.
but like y'all probably interact with each other the most because
Well,
he
he be
always
sending me stuff,
right.
but we be sending each other places we want to visit, like
Exactly, but now that
Maldives, Bali, things like that.
the way the algorithm works is you're gonna see more of his stuff because you interact with him. I don't interact when he send us videos. I'd be like, why are you sending me this?
Don't be ignoring my husband's
What?
DMs.
He already know what it is. Oh, I respond like every 6th video, but sometimes I just like, are you supposed to be at work? Like, what are you doing?
It's okay. It's usually like 5 something in the morning when he send that stuff.
Yeah, I
He hadn't
guess.
been to work yet, but
I
okay.
guess. I just be
But we do
like,
appreciate the comments, and we do appreciate the judge. Keep them coming.
yeah. Oh, and the last thing listening to, I actually just finished my rewatch of All American Homecoming, and I promise I rewatched it before we were doing this topic because, I love me some Simone and Lando. I really hate that that show got canceled. I wish they would show us more of it. I think it was an amazing show. It was not like, a different world, but it gave a lot. They did a lot of topics such as mental health, teen pregnancy, boy girl, boy, girl, 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 boy, boy, like a lot of different, relationships. And then also one of the episodes that I really loved is the bomb threat episode because they depicted how, white supremacy is against black excellence. And that was very well portrayed. Everybody hated the breast cancer season, but actually I thought it was very important because a lot of younger women, not a lot, but it is increasing that younger women are getting breast cancer and navigating that space, and what she did to get her body back and what she did to overcome it was a beautiful story. It navigates athletes in the space of also caring about their education. So I love the show, and I only watched season 2 and 3, but I would recommend anybody who didn't see it from the beginning. It's on Netflix, season 1 through 3. Actually, you have to start from All American Homecoming because they have a backdoor episode, and I mean not All American Homecoming, but All American, the original, and then they have a backdoor episode to All American Homecoming.
I like that show. I felt like from their perspective in an HBCU, they had an opportunity to problem solve a lot, and I
Right.
like
Mhm.
the young people figuring things out
Right.
and doing it in
Taking
community,
accountability. Yeah.
being accountable for their actions and their behavior, and leaning on one another to figure it out. The
Right.
Friendsgiving, the
Yeah.
weekly dinner together, like, and
It
they
re
just problem solve and talk things out.
it reminded me so much of when I was in college because, Auntie Aria and I would always go to dinner. So that relationship between Simone and her auntie always made me think of Auntie Aria because we always go to dinner, we chop it up, and we talk, and she would feed me because I was broke. So thank you, Auntie Aria, for watching this. I really appreciate you. You got me through a lot of like hungry times. So thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like how they were a part of the solution and they came
Right.
together a lot to figure out. They didn't just let things happen to them. They came up, they rose up, and they showed the excellence that an HBCU could have. And a lot of times it just felt like, dang, these are college kids. They always going through it. But reality, that is life.
It is
Like,
life.
right.
Adulting
So,
is not for the weak.
yeah. So I do recommend you go watch All American Homecoming, go listen to Summer Walker, and you guys let us know what you think of our episodes. We have officially completed 11 episodes by the time this airs. So we appreciate all of you, all 70 of you that subscribe. Again, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll see you next time on We Listen and We Judge.
Take care.